Hello, everybody. Welcome to. It's the full show. It's not a preview.
No, it's a full show. Yep.
Yeah, it's a full show. So, but if you were an ultra episode, if you were an ultra, a member of the dedicated ultras, you could have got this show on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
As it is, say Monday. Monday? What is it?
It'll be Monday.
It's Monday
when it's scheduled.
Obviously, it says Monday. You know what day it is. I know what day it is.
Yeah, to look at the calendar, Carl. Right beside you in our studio.
19, 20, 21. Yeah, it's Monday, of course. Yes.
I didn't spend all that money on the full wall-sized clock for nothing.
Yeah, I just can't see that time. That's the problem. Which I did say it beforehand, but you're a slave driver.
Spend the Patreon money somehow.
It's so hard to spend all this money. Yeah, you could listen to this show a little bit earlier on Friday. If you were a member of the Ultras, the link is in the description of this episode for bonus episodes every week. As the Premier League and the League club season start up again, we'll be doing a bonus episode every week. We're doing the free one on a Monday or Tuesday every week as well. But you get that bonus episode on a Thursday. So this is the kind of stuff you listen to with more news, maybe.
Honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama.
This is utterly
Shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
Because he was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all
Plenty
the
of
time.
time, no problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast. We are post the Euros right now. Lovely weather, Will, that's for sure.
Oh, it's nice. It's
Scorcher out there today.
It's getting hot. It's feeling like the summer is back. And funnily enough, after the international tournament, it wasn't here at all during that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hit and miss. I think this kind of nostalgic view of the Irish summer. I mean, it's kind of always been like this, kind of bit wet. Sometimes sunny, but then the rain's never too far away, you know. But yeah, that part tells you how much of the news that we immediately start about the weather. I don't know, Will, have you had any dreams you want to tell the listeners about? Yeah, no, or...
Not this time. Although we were sent one not too long ago that maybe we'll keep it locked away in case anyone needs we need a dream to fill time.
When things get really bad, we'll bust out the dream journal. But yeah, look, we, as you all know, Spain won the Euros. Argentina won the Copa America, all except for the finalissima. I've been following the Spanish celebrations.
And I saw some Cucurella singing how Haaland will be trembling in his boots because Cucurella is near. What the hell was that about?
For anybody who hasn't heard it, play the clip of drunk Cucurella.
Cucurella se come una paella. Cucurella se bebe una estrella. Jala tiembla que viene Cucurella. Jala tiembla, toma una galleta.
Another way it starts is like Cucurella. It's like, oh no, what's he going to say? You can tell with the other Spanish players behind him who are also probably twisted are like, oh man, this guy's making a fool of himself. It's like he's going to.
He wasn't the only one as well. I don't know if you saw Rodri's in a bit of hot water because they were all passing the mic to each other to go, yeah. Come on, Spain. They say, Rodri, anything you want to say? And he said, Gibraltar is Spain's.
Yeah, about time. Let's take it back. Come on, lads. Load up the bus.
Apparently he was, someone put it to him then, one of the other Spanish players was like, do you not play in England? And he said, I couldn't care less.
Well, if he was to get kicked out of Man City, he's literally won everything there is to win. So, I mean, at this point, just the World Cup to go. He can go anywhere he wants. He's on the list for the Ballon d'Or. I think he's fourth in place for Ballon d'Or. Hard to argue with it, to be honest, after the year he's had. So, yeah. I'll allow him that kind of
hell yeah,
basically up the rat type Spanish version of let's take back the North, let's take back Gibraltar. Yeah, no, it was pretty funny, but honestly, even that pretty harmless in comparison to what the Argentinians were doing.
Yeah, we'll play. Do we play the clip?
I mean, as a sake of news. We're not endorsing
Yeah.
this. You know?
We're not singing along with the clip turn. Don't worry. We're watching sternly.
No, this isn't like when Martin Scorsese made The Wolf of Wall Street. And he was like, look how bad this is.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's the sickest
pretty
film
fun.
I've ever seen. I want to be that guy.
It looks like I was like, I know this is a bad. See, he's a tortured soul. You know, this is bad. Look at all this wealth he has. Isn't it terrible, everybody? It looks like the most fun thing in the world. This isn't that. This is just for sake of. This is what the whole hullabaloo is about.
Yeah.
Now, for any of our non-Spanish speaking listeners, it says essentially kind of Mbappe's parents are from Africa. He's from Africa, but he has a French passport and he's shite, kind of. That's kind of the general takeaway, isn't it?
That is pretty much essentially it. I don't know if you remember there's another line in there as well that slipped through that some news channels haven't actually been reporting. They're reporting the racism side. One of the lines also is, and he has sex with transsexuals. Boys.
Yeah.
What is this chant?
Because that girlfriend he had, wasn't it?
I think
was
so.
A transsexual before. Not that there's anything wrong with that, you know. But in Argentina, maybe there is, Will, you know.
Yeah. We're in dangerous territory.
Well, it's different. You know, you ever hear the translated Turkish chants? And it's like, your mother is the son of a whore. Or your mother, you know, it's like it's very like literal when it's translated. It's like, who speaks like that? You know, it's yeah. Look, I mean, this came out a while ago. The fans were singing after the World Cup, of course, when Argentina beat France in dramatic circumstances in the World Cup. But the difference then was the fans singing this, and as we all know, fans at Premier League games in other countries, they sing some pretty not safe for work stuff. I was like, yeah, well, that's football fans for you. But you know, everyone else in the media and the players are above that. We would never. Yeah, we're outside of football. We don't sing any of those kind of stuff. So when the players are confirming, oh no, we sing that kind of stuff as well. It's like, okay, so you know, you're condoning it. You're making it worse. So yeah, they're saying again for this one, but I mean, this is obviously the Copa America. France doesn't do this one, so it's really kind of strange, you know.
Yeah, I would say that is a lot of what is annoying some of the French players as well. It's like, if it was all riled up in the heat of the moment, you know, you just beat France and you have this weird rivalry going on, but it's like nothing to do with them, and you're celebrating on the bus by singing about how all the French players are actually Africans and all this. It's like, what the hell is this about? Like, is this what you're doing just all the time? Like,
yeah, I suppose it goes back to 2018 when they got knocked out by like 18-year-old Mbappe, and that was at the time. Because Messi had got the final in 2014, this was like, okay, one more chance for Messi. And then this French team came along and blew them away.
Yeah.
So I guess it starts there like, fuck these French guys, you know. Which you could do that in sport. You could say, you can have a rivalry, as you say, but when you start bringing in like kind of race to it, and it's like, you know, Argentinians' point of view of what is politically correct versus what we would say is politically correct. And then what's going on beside that in France with the political situation there as well, it's really kind of a bad time to be singing chants like that about people, you know. Not that any ever good time, but I think it's really hitting home now, you know.
Yeah, with the backdrop of everything, it's also not a good time to be like, if you're singing it, that's one thing. Don't put it up on your story. Don't film yourself singing it. Don't film the whole team singing it.
Well, this is the whole point. You're unashamed about it.
Exactly.
It's not like we're singing it, but we're like, yeah, sure, of course we're singing this. This is what, because the Argentinians are saying this is how they think it's a funny thing. It's like me being like, you know, Will has short hair, and then you like, yeah, I'm like, well, what do you do? You know, like to me, like that's like I'm making funny of having short hair or something. Like it's as normal as that to them. So, and I record that and send it. I wouldn't feel like I'm going to get in trouble for this. You know, it'd just be a bad joke. You know, it'd be as bad a joke as saying you have short hair. You know what I mean? So it's that's what I mean. They weren't like filmed like by some like sneaky person. It was like they filmed themselves and put up and like, look at this video we made. fuck you guys. It's like, this is really offensive.
The man who filmed it was Chelsea midfielder Enzo Fernandes. And this is where the storm really began, because his teammate, Wesley Fofana, put it up on his story. Like, he reshared it. He said, football in 2024, uninhibited racism. It's not good when that, again, Enzo Fernandez is in the middle of the pitch, Fofana's behind him. I don't think this team is going to work out going into the next season.
Yeah. He made an apology for it then afterwards, but as I say, it wasn't like he was secretly filmed. He put up himself, so he wasn't. I didn't know what I was saying. Like, you knew exactly what you're saying. You just didn't think it was a bad thing to say. So now you're like, oh, sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean it. But also, I will say his apology was written in Comic Sans of all fonts, which, like, that seems like you should have a professional drafting these things. Yeah, his apology was on his story. At least he did it himself, but it was in Comic Sans, and one or two of the lines are the classics. I'm sorry for anyone who was offended by the things I said.
Yeah.
Not that I'm sorry I said. I'm sorry that you didn't like that. But I said.
I'm sure he was sent that by somebody.
Yeah.
Put this on your story. And then as he was typing, he got bored. Like, this is so boring. Let me see if I got any cool fonts here. Ooh, Comic Sans. This is nice. That's how little he cared about it. So it's a strange one. And you got Nkuku also plays for Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a few French players there who, and then anyone else who, wasn't a fan of the chant as well. You don't have to necessarily be black and from France. It could be just anybody who's like, that was kind of fucked up. You did that and recorded it and put it out. I didn't see that was a bad thing to. Do you think this all the time? When I'm playing with you all the time, is this what you're thinking? Like,
are you humming it in your head?
Yeah, you're thinking, oh, this guy isn't even from France. He's from Africa. That was like.
It wasn't just Fofana who. Well, it was Fofana was the only one who kind of made a statement-ish, but Fofana, Disasi, and Malagusto all unfollowed Fernandez on Instagram, which is a big red alert. Like, these boys barely even use their Instagram. I'd say it's PR companies using them. So the fact they're like, get him out. Yeah. I don't want to see him on the feed.
Distance yourself from him, It's an endorsement if you follow him at this point,
Yes. And the storm is just brewed, whipped up. It's still going. It's now literally France and Argentina. Like, the federations and the government are going at each other over it. There's investigations from FIFA and from the Premier League. And it's resulted in a shake-up in Argentina's politics. Let me get the quotes here. The Secretary of Sport, Julio Garo, was sacked after urging Messi and the Argentinian manager to apologize for the remarks. Which, I know what you're thinking. That's weird. Why was he sacked? If he's saying, hey.
Will's not getting this wrong, folks. Will's reading it perfectly correct.
The Argentinian president, Javier Milei, he declared that no government can dictate to the national team or any citizen. Talking about France, asking them to apologize and stuff. And that's why he said, categorically, Messi will not be apologizing. It will be a lack of respect for those who permanently honor us with their human and sporting quality. The Argentinian vice president said, no colonialist country is going to intimidate us for a song that is sung on the pitch or for telling truths they don't want to admit.
Wow.
Stop feigning indignation, hypocrites. Enzo, I support you. Messi, thank you for everything. Long live Argentina.
This is at a rally, was it?
I don't know, but that is a hell of a statement.
Damn. I mean, the whole colonizer thing. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, if this was, say, the Irish was singing this, obviously everyone in Ireland would be like disgusted and be like, this is crazy. I can't believe that they were saying this kind of thing about French people. But in different countries, there's different views on these things. That's why they were happy to video it and put it up and like, what's wrong with this? Everybody's thinking it, and they've been backed up. So it's like I say, it's grand if you're Messi and you're playing in the MLS and you're never going back to Europe. But for Enzo, you're playing in Chelsea with French players.
Yeah.
That seems like, you'd say when you travel, you broaden your horizons, you meet different people from different backgrounds. You go, hey, actually, we're not so different after all, us and the French, but not for Enzo, I guess. Maybe when you go home, you get all these nastiest views again. I don't know, but I don't think it spells teamwork for Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to work out very well, but I don't know. Will Chelsea end up selling?
Again, there's so many. There's literally hundreds of quotes here from different every name under the sun you can think of. And it's just like, I don't see how you can keep this guy at the club.
Yeah.
For example, Demba Ba, former Chelsea striker, he tweeted, Argentina, land of asylum for former Nazis on the run. And this surprises you? So it's kicking off big time here.
Damn, he's calling Enzo a Nazi.
And then for Liverpool, Alexis McAllister, he was asked about it. He's Argentinian. Apparently him and Messi also were on a different bus. That's genuinely the line.
That's what I was saying. I actually missed the bus. I wasn't actually there. No, I was on. I was on a different bus. Yeah.
I just went home, I know we won the Copa, but I was very tired.
Yeah, I know. I got the later one. I think I got the 27B. That was 27A. I got 27B. So different bus. I wasn't there.
Yeah. Alexis was asked about it. He said, look, Europe is much more sensitive than here. We're not a racist country. We know Enzo. He would never do it with bad intentions. It's just a chant that stuck, and it's more of a mocking tone than anything else. But as I said, you have to be very careful here. I think the most important thing is that Enzo came out and gave the corresponding apologies. That should be the end.
Yeah, you just get away with it if you just apologize.
Look, you're not allowed to say anything in Europe. He tried to apologize. What else can we do?
Yeah, I think there is probably maybe dangerous territory here, but there is different views in different countries on these things. Like say, it was like he was caught doing this. He put it out. If he thought this was going to happen, he wouldn't have. He thought this was we were making fun of you.
Yeah,
but not in a way that was going to cause an international incident.
It's just a bit of crap.
It's just a bit of a racist thing, I say. But yeah, I don't think he probably even thinks it is racist. He thinks it's I'm making fun of your. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to see why he would do this.
Yeah,
because say if someone from Europe, you would never put this out willingly on yourself if you were saying this because this might fuck up my opportunities. Unless you're just completely, I want them to know about this.
Yeah,
I want to cause some havoc here. That's the only two things, You wouldn't be putting that willingly thinking this is fine. This is just a bit of banter. It's just banter, lads. You have a go, we have a go. It's joshing. So it's just very strange. So I think that must be it. That he thought, yeah, this is fine. This is just what people do.
Well, we actually have a similar kind of thing that happened recently in Ireland. Remember when the women's team got to the World Cup and they filmed themselves singing "Ooh Ah" up their ass straight after, and on their story. And then there was huge backlash over that because in Ireland it was like, there's just a song. And then in England they were like, they were bombing us.
Yeah, again though, I don't think it was someone in the dressing room. I think it was one of the players, was it? It was somebody.
I don't remember that one. It definitely wasn't a player pointing at their own face like Enzo and fist bump.
Yeah. Do I think that was one of the more situations where it was kind of like that wasn't really meant for it. That was kind of for the team. Because again, that well, you shouldn't be saying these things. Somebody should be putting them out online. Yeah. I mean, a lot of those Irish players, for men and women, they're have Irish parents, but they're born in England. They grew up in England, so it's not the same. Like if there was black French people playing for Argentina singing that song, you just wouldn't get the same thing. It's a little bit different, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not good for Enzo or for Chelsea. I don't know what's going to end, but it's not kind of going away. The apologies in the end of it, that's for sure.
Yeah,
there's people that aren't happy with it. So
yeah,
Todd Bowley, the ball's in your court.
Yeah, I'm sure he's well aware of this. He probably doesn't even know.
Desperately trying to find a buyer for Chelsea. It's like, please buy it. Chelsea have a manager, don't they? We covered that briefly.
Yes. What's his name? The Leicester manager, another bald fraud.
Well, no, we don't know he's a fraud yet. We just know he's bald. That's for sure.
Another bald man.
Well, someone who isn't bald, maybe is a fraud. Gareth Southgate has left his job as England head coach. Is it head coach, manager? Coach Gareth? I don't know. He's gone though. Which just raises more questions than answers for me. Why did he do any of it if he was just going to leave at the end,
Just play whoever. Why, why are you being so careful?
Play who you want, I can't risk Manu. This is my last chance. Anyways, look, he's gone. And there's a whole host of unemployed managers who are now up for the job. There's a temptation to go with Lee Carsley, who was banking on this, let's be honest.
Yeah.
He was offered the Irish job. He said, no, I have a feeling Garrett's going to crash and burn and there might be a position here. Then there's the likes of Jurgen Klopp, who said he wanted a break. So it'd be a bit soon for him to go back into it, I think.
Yeah.
people are saying Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
He's weeping because there's no more worlds to conquer in club football. So he needs to find an international trophy to win. Graham Potter, of course, Eddie Howe. You could go back to the English route of saying, they know the country, they know our league. I mean, for anyone who does take the job, there's a good team there.
Oh yeah, I think it's Gareth Southgate has left, like, he's done well. He's left it better than he found it, and to the point where,
well, again, he didn't buy the players or produce them; he just managed them. So the players are there.
That is true.
They were produced by the system that England have done, and probably Lee Carroll himself as well as those players.
True, actually. Lee Carsley's done a great job here.
And I think that's why Lee Carsley is prime candidate, because he won the World Cup, under-17 World Cup or something, or under-21 World Cup.
I think it might have been the Euros. He won an international tournament with the underage team.
So there's the ability to win tournaments there, which Southgate has maybe lacked a little. Now, it'll have to discount on the players, but yeah, which way do you think they'll go? There's always a tendency to go the opposite of the last guy, isn't there?
Yeah, as we've covered it so many times, skinny to baggy jeans.
Yes.
Do this. Which way are they going this time? I think they're going to, by the looks of it, apparently that Pep thing, they really want Pep. And because they are just like, well, Man City are going to get kicked down to the Championship any day now. So as soon as that happens, we'll just take Pep. But I'd say you'll need someone in the interim. That's not going to happen next week or anything. So I think it'll be Carsley, but with an eye to it's Pep, really.
Really?
That's what I would say their plan would be, is that Carsley as an interim, say, with the idea of Pep will come in and tiki-taka his way to greatness.
But if you're a Carsley, are you saying you're taking the interim manager, or are you like, I mean, if you're the FA, you have to offer him either, you can be interim manager till we get who we really want, Pep Guardiola, or we'll give you a 5-year contract and then sack him before that, or a year contract. Like, either way, if you're Lee Carsley, you want like some assurances here. You can't just go in and like, I'll do a year-long interview for this job.
I don't know, because I think the job is so huge. Like, managing England is like surely one of the most, like, it's always a disaster, don't get me wrong, but it's surely one of the most like sought after management jobs in football in Ireland and England. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would be the biggest, surely. So I don't know. I think maybe he's like, fuck yeah, I'll do that for 6 months. That'd be big for the CV. You can manage fucking any club in the Premier League after that, surely.
If he does a good job.
Yeah.
But there's probably it depends what 6 months you take over. There might be only 3 games.
That's true, yeah. And one of them's against us.
One's against us, and then one of them, everybody will be injured the week beforehand. Like, oh, sorry, muscle soreness, can't make us. You're going to have to play the kids, and then you lose that game. And then, oh, Pep's available. And now you've lost all your momentum as this great underage manager. So I think if you're Lee Carsley, you don't take it as interim manager. You're thinking, I'm taking it for at least the next tournament. I need guarantees that we're here for the next World Cup.
Yeah.
So I can build towards it,
Yeah, and I don't know, like, I know those reports came out that they want Pep, but I just don't know how Pep is going to work out at international level. Like, surely all these systems and stuff are drilled into the players day in, day out at Man City and the likes. And then, like, internationally, he sees them every 2 months for, like, a week. So I don't know. I just don't know if it'll work the same way. Now, it does help that every club over the last few years has started to copy fucking Guardiola and maybe do it poorly, but they have a good idea of what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the element that people think it might interest him, because it would be a challenge for him to do it. Because, like, he can do the club level. He can go to any club in the world and he'll have whatever budget he needs because it's Pep, and you'll do it because you think, well, he'll bring us the treble.
Yeah.
He'll bring us something, So if he goes internationally, you don't have the ability to buy in players. It would be like, can I coach my way out of this corner, So I guess that's what they're banking on. And the City thing is like, if they get done for charges or not. But I mean, really, it's like, okay, what are you going to do now? Go to Juventus now? Is that what you're going to do next?
Exactly.
Maybe you want something different. And he would be the baggy jeans to Gareth Southgate's skinny jeans. He is the complete opposite. Very technical, very tactical, boring, no hair, not a nice man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to be nicey. He won't have favorites. He'll drop players, never play them again. He's the complete opposite of Gareth Southgate. So I think that's where they're going to him that way. What about Eddie Howe? Think he'd leave Newcastle?
I don't know. I mean, it's the Newcastle thing is so weird because, like, for a few months, it's like, well, that's it. They're they'll be winning the league any day now, and they have all the best
Yeah.
players in the world. But it seems like, I don't know, maybe they weren't as clever with their finances as other oil clubs have been, where it seems like they're selling players or like, oh, can't buy anyone this summer and stuff. I don't know if you saw the two faces of the club are gone now, and it's gone back to the Saudi owner. And like they lost the director of football. Like there's a lot going on. So maybe it's not as attractive as it was looking a few years ago. But then you're probably only like 2 years away from a big fake stadium sponsor, and then you can spend all the money you like.
Well, definitely the point deductions last year maybe put a bit of more fear in them. When it took over, they probably thought, yeah, but that's not real. That's financial fair play is a bit of a joke, like, you know. And then this like actually getting deducted points and this Man City thing. I mean, they're fighting a tooth and nail, but there could be a day where the hammer comes down on them.
Yeah.
So it mightn't be as easy as it was before to just kind of, you know, financially dope your way up to the top four. But it's still only been year 2 of it now?
Yeah, it's early days.
They took over in January. So yeah, for Eddie Howe though, like I said, last year was like, oh, they're going to win it all. And then it was like, Eddie Howe is 2 games away from being sacked. Like, you know, it was very close there for a while. So for him, it's like you go to England, he's still young. You win the World Cup, then everyone wants you.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, okay, we're England just lost the Euros. And we're like, I think this team could win the World Cup.
We're the problem.
But it's because you look at their squad, like that team, like as good as Spain were, there was more than that England side, and they only lost by 1 goal.
Yeah, England were terrible in this tournament, and they were like 5 minutes away from going to extra time in the final.
So there's more in that team, you know. So I think for any manager taking over, there's like, okay, this could be huge, and I could win something here. So for Eddie Howe, it's like this Newcastle thing could go either way.
Yeah.
Like get sacked in the morning, or we could go right to the top. But England is like, okay, there's a really good team here, and he does play attacking football with the likes of Gordon and you know, Almiron. He's not a big star, but it's like if you can play, you can run, score goals, you'd be in the team. So I think he would be good for them. But yeah, I just wonder which way they'll go with this. I wonder how long they'll leave us before they get a manager.
Yeah, that is the thing. See, they have, I think, we're their next game, and that's in September. So I highly doubt they're going to do like the FAI, be like, we can skip a few games.
We have a secret manager who we can't tell you about. Okay, there is no secret manager. That was a lie. But we are close to finding a manager who we can't tell you about.
I love the idea of England at the moment interviewing all these potential managers, you know, Howe and Pep and all this. An extensive process. Like no stone left unturned, where they interviewed like 7 managers, and then Ireland interviewed 400.
Yeah, I don't think the English FA will go through 400 people. I think they probably already have the shortlist down. But again, it's a much more attractive job, so it's easier for them. But yeah, I think Graham Potter is also on that list. And I think, geez, I remember him. He used to manage teams. Hasn't managed anybody in a while. Apparently, because he's still getting paid $200,000 a week by Chelsea
until October.
I think who was this? Who won the Champions League in 2012? The Italian manager. Oh, I forget his name now. But this is why, because the same thing. He was sacked, but he was still getting paid his contract money weekly. He didn't get a lump sum. It was like, you can get paid the rest of your contract until you get another job. That was in the clause. So this is a Chelsea clause. It was like, you can continue getting paid and like kibosh your own career by people forgetting who you are.
But you never have to work again. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want the money, you have to not work. And, you know, it's a pretty mean clause to put in the contract, to be honest. You get your money, but only if you never work again. So yeah, that's what's happening to Graham Potter. So I don't know, maybe, again, if it's in a job, he might take it. He might say, yeah, it could be worth this. It'd be a great job to bounce back into, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
For him.
But I don't know. I think the England job, as much of it, because we're looking at it through Southgate, where it's like doing wonders for his career, I'd say. But gee, if it goes wrong, I mean, you're cooked. You're done. You'll never get a job in this country again, they'll say. I
don't think anybody's going to hire Gareth Southgate.
Someone will, definitely. He'll get a job. Yeah, he has Chelsea written all over him.
I just think, you know, he had really good players there and he didn't know how to play them. He genuinely was like, I don't know. I don't think Watkins is better than Kane. I don't think he is. He couldn't see that he was, you know. Couldn't see that Maney was a better option than Trent Alexander-Arnold, who doesn't play in midfield. He doesn't play there. He's like, nah, I'm going to stick with Trent for 2 games in a row. Like, what are you looking at, you know? And you're going to have teams with a lot less options than that. And it's going to be much tighter as to who's better or who should play where. And he doesn't seem to know where to play them. or how to play them.
I agree with that, but we've seen it so many times. We think that the clubs are clever enough to think like this, but usually they're not. Usually these clubs are genuinely badly run and they make dumb decisions without thinking things through. There's definitely a club in the Premier League that thinks, yeah, Gareth Southgate. England did well, actually, didn't they? They got to the final. You know, he'd probably do a job with us. I'm sure there's clubs that are thinking that.
Yeah, that might be enough. But I don't think it's going to go well for them. And he'll do that to me twice.
Yeah.
And then he'll be like, right, okay, you're not a good manager. You're out. But yeah, look, that's the news on that. There's no one appointed yet. They have till September for the first game. So, I mean, it's not that pressing for them yet. Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say they'll go baggy jeans this one. They'll go the complete opposite.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're getting baggy one way or another.
One name touted, Ange Postecoglou will.
I saw that. I saw though he quickly dampened it. He said, "No, not me. He's only focused on Spurs."
He said, "I had a nap this afternoon, so I have no idea what's going on."
How long was his nap? I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, he said, I'm focused on Tottenham. I desperately want to win this club. You know, I had napped this afternoon. I woke up and there was like, you're the next thing. The manager's like, what's going on? How long was my nap?
He would suit them, though, I do think. He would be, because, you know, he'd play good football with them, and I think he'd be well liked. Would it work out? No, but I don't think that actually matters in England.
Yeah, I tell you, they're going now the opposite. They don't want to be liked anymore. They just want to win. Southgate was great being liked. They were like somebody who's a mean bastard who's going to like make hard decisions, you know, ruthless calls.
You know who would work well then for that? Not so much himself, but Eddie Howe would have them playing absolute fucking terrible stuff. Like they'd be kicking teams off the pitch. We saw it with Newcastle. What he turned them into in the space of a season, like.
Yeah, well, as we said, he tried to do the kind of like let's play good football, but they weren't good enough.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I guess we're going to go to plan B, you know?
They had to change the extra time rule to stop them.
But they don't want to play bad stuff. You know what I mean? They want to play good. That was the whole problem. Southgate played bad stuff with good players. What else do we have? We had your standard kind of transfer stuff, 18-year-olds going for 50 million, you know, the normal kind of stuff that happens in the Premier League.
I've seen a lot of uproar over this fee United paid for wonderkid, apparently Leny Yoro.
Leny Yoro.
But I've seen so much things like, how much for him? Like 50 million for an 18-year-old? And honestly, the world of football is so mad that when I saw that figure, it didn't even register in my head. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, like, even if he was terrible, I would be like, that's the going rate, I'd say.
Don't bother yourself with the money, lads. You know,
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about the money. You know, it's grand. It's really, it's not your bubble to burst.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's not going to affect you. Don't worry about it.
And this is the thing. It's when rival fans are like, he spent how much? That's crazy. It's like, that's a good thing for ye. If it doesn't work out, United are in big trouble. You know what I mean?
That's simply the only thing. It's like, it's a stick to beat your rival fans. It was like, you spent, you know, what's this? Who was the one? 100 million on Grealish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, but they win everything. Yeah, well, it's a joke still, though. Every so often we go, how come no one says anything about Jack Grealish? But 100 million is like everyone says it once a month. People that come with this like hot take. Here's a hot take: Jack Grealish didn't work out for 100 million, did he? You know, it's like, yeah, we know. Everyone says it all the time.
And then also, it's like he was an integral part of the team that won the treble.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Is like, well, what about they can have this kind of like 20 game a season player for 100 million? How's that fair? You know,
it's not. That's the whole point. That's what we're always saying.
Yeah. Yeah, am I not signing 50 million for 18-year-olds that fair? No, of course not fair. Your club could never do that. That's the whole point. That this is not a fair system. So don't worry about it. If it's your own club, don't worry about it. That's just how it goes. You know, the game is gone, but the game's been gone for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, this bubble was meant to burst 6 years ago, at least. You're like, these fees are getting insane. This is getting crazy, and it just every year the money happens to be there. It just appears every year. Oh, there's another war chest to be opened. 200 million there for somebody else, and life goes on and on and on. So don't worry about the money.
Yeah.
You know, worry about is he good or not?
Exactly.
And honestly, I don't know.
Who knows? Who could tell?
He's 18. He's based in the league, which I do not watch. I saw one fail comp.
I've seen one fail comp, and I've seen two Welcome to Man United highlight reels. So I don't know. We're 2-1 right now, which means I think he's probably okay.
He'd make mistakes, The difference now is that everything you do is recorded.
Yes.
Not many times in history, you could watch an 18-year-old who's exclusively played in the French leagues. Every second of French football he's played in, every second's been televised, recorded. So there's a lot of content out there to make a fail comp of.
Imagine someone made a fail comp of just like you in your day-to-day life. Anyone going about their regular job, and then someone puts up a 2-minute highlight reel of every mistake you made this year.
In an interview, you're going over the candidates, go, boss, look, I've just seen this on X, and it's a fail comp with like lo-fi beats behind you, like dropping stuff. Like, oh,
yeah, my till being wrong and stuff.
Yeah, going on your phone during office hours, like, what the hell? That's not very good. That's not very good for a star boy we're going to hire. He didn't certainly come across like this in the interview, that's for sure. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure, hopefully, he doesn't have a hard time of it. But he's young, He'll think he'll go straight in the team. I wouldn't say so.
I don't know. I think apparently they're trying to get someone else in the door. They're trying to get DeLate or Brantwaite from Everton. But
yes,
I would say he might actually go straight into the team because the fact that he turned down Madrid, apparently, and I know it's more money, but it's more money for the club, not for him. You know what I mean? The transfer fee doesn't go to him.
Yeah.
So I do think he was probably, at least he was sold a dream of you'll be starting a lot this season, pal.
So what, Man United offered more money, did they?
Yeah, so Madrid were saying we'll pay 20 million and take him off you now, or we wait till he's a free agent in the summer next year and we'll take him for free. That's what we'll do. Does that sound good? And then Man United said,
no.
Yeah. But apparently he wanted to go to Madrid, but then United offered whatever it was, 50 million or 60 million quid.
Oh, so the club were saying, well, we're going to take more money.
They were like, this would be huge for this club. We've done a lot for you, man. Could you please go with Man United?
Yeah. Did you ever hear that story of I read that selling Benjani to Man City?
I sold Benjani to Man City, right? He was at Portsmouth, £9.5 million, which was quite decent money for him, for Benji. So I said, Benji, you've got to go. Man City want you. I like it here, boss. I'm happy. I went, no, you've got to go. I said, Man City, big club. You'll love it, Manchester. No, I don't. I love it here. I don't want to go. I'm happy. No, Benji. Anyway, I shove him out the door. Right? He gets to the airport. Keep ringing. He ain't got on the plane. He don't want to go. He's sitting there. He's let one plane go. 2 planes go. Benji, what are you doing? We get him on the last plane. He arrives in Manchester about 10:15. Sven was the manager of Man City, Sven-Goran Eriksson. Yeah. Only Sven could have paid £9.5 million. Right? So he ends up, he gets the last plane. They make it by about, I'm sitting waiting for the thing to come. Oh my God, £9.5 million quid for Benji. As a result of the time. I loved him. He was a great lad.
So, I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I think it might be a Benjani situation here.
Yeah, you'd imagine. I mean, I think when Arsenal signed Saliba, they had him on loan for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, he should be playing. And Arteta's like, no, he needs to go back alone. He's not ready yet, all this stuff. So maybe it's one of those situations where it's like, we need to secure him now, but he's not ready. So they'll get him and put him back on loan somewhere. And then you might get Braithwaite and you'll have Martinez there. And over time, they'll bring him in. But yeah, that's probably the biggest transfer in terms of money. But it doesn't even feel like a big transfer. The unveiling just feels like it's such an anticlimax. Mbappe, who of course you're referring to, he got unveiled at Real Madrid, and did the Ronaldo everything.
Yeah, did you see the side by side comparison video? What the fuck is that about? He's a weirdo.
I don't know. I think he's 25, so he grew up in this social media world where he's seen it all. I'm sure you saw the Celtics, the Boston Celtics were in the championship in the NBA, and Jason Tatum did the exact thing that the former Celtics who won in 2007,
yeah,
but 2008, I should say, they did the anything is possible, which I've seen 100 million times. So I imagine as a professional NBA player, professional basketball player who plays for the Celtics, you've seen that even more. So it's like you can't escape these things. You don't have these original reactions. You're thinking, oh, this is just like that time that the other thing that is. Like when Ronaldo signed for Real Madrid, he probably never saw the unveiling of Zidane. Do you know what I mean? Growing up in Portugal, he didn't have a phone to be watching it on. It wasn't televised. So when he did it, he was like, "This is my thing." Whereas Mbappe's watching, thinking, "This is just like when Ronaldo was unveiled." Or maybe it's like when Bale was unveiled. Maybe it's like when Modric was unveiled because I watched them all. Because I'm a huge Madrid fan. So like nothing. You're always going to be like thinking of, "Oh, this is like." I always do this, and it's really annoying. I hate when I do it myself, but I always think I match up my life with like scenes from TV shows I've watched. Mainly The Simpsons. Like this is like that scene in The Simpsons where Bart loses his job.
Yeah. And then you've the voice in your head that's just like, shut up about The Simpsons.
Come up with the original thought, just be in the moment, let it happen naturally. So yeah, I think it's probably a bit of that, but it was strange to do the exact same Unos Dos Tres, Hala Madrid, it was like.
And it was like the same shot of him in the car coming in, he's sitting in the same way and stuff. It's like, I'm sure it's the Madrid media team as well, but it's like, even if it's all the media team, it's like, why not just let this fella be his own thing? Why are we like, he's like Ronaldo? It's like Ronaldo again. It's like, well, now if it doesn't work, people are instantly going to be like, well, he's no Ronaldo. I'll tell you that much.
You're back to the comparison straight away. It was like when Bale signed and he was a muscular winger, it was like, just like Ronaldo. And Ronaldo was still there. Yeah. It's like, well, you don't put that pressure on him, And he never lived up to it because he was never the same output as Ronaldo had, in terms of goals and assists. I was like, well, he's not as good as Ronaldo. And that's what he said he was going to be like. And he isn't.
Well, I think that's going to happen to Mbappe now. I think Mbappe is going to do really well at Madrid, but he's not going to be scoring fucking 60 goals a season. Like,
no one's ever going to, like, not in our lifetime. I don't think someone's going to replicate that kind of, was it like 400 games and 500 goals and ridiculous at Ronaldo? Like, it's just crazy.
And then Messi was outscoring him at the same time. I mean, it was fucking insane.
Yeah, you see, if you think Lamine Yamal is going to be that player for Barcelona that Messi was, like, no, like it's because it's not real. When you look, pick any year from that stretch and look at their goals and assists, it looks like a typo. It looks like their screen is freaking out. Like that, they're not real numbers. Like, because you see people like when Haaland scored more than the goal a game, he broke all records in the Premier League. So Messi was like 2 and 3 goals per game. It was just like, it doesn't really it doesn't register because it's hard to even imagine that. So yeah, he got unveiled and did everything like Ronaldo, and he's going to be playing up front, I guess.
I suppose so.
Is that the plan?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't know if you saw as well, Madrid's rivals, they saw something at the Euros. They said, I want a piece of that. They are trying to buy Nico Williams now, so they can do the Yamal-Nico double team that we saw in the final. So, I don't know. I think that transfer might work out better than the Mbappe one for some reason.
Yeah, that could be like the Bertrand and Klein combination. Remember that in fantasy football a few years ago?
It's the exact same.
It's just telepathic communication on both wings. Fantasy heroes, those two. Yeah, I wonder if they watch Bertrand and Klein's unveiling at Southampton. I wonder can they get that footage and recreate that? That'd be sick. Or like an edit of Bertrand, then Nico Williams, then Klein, then Yamal, and then electricity going down. I should pitch that to them. I should just send that video. Look, this, if you want to use it, you can use this. Just mention my name. I'll be happy. But you can use this sick edit for your unveiling.
Do you know what's funny as well about all those football edits? I was thinking this. I'm fairly up on technology and like making content and all that. I haven't the slightest clue how to make a football edit like that with all the like lightning and sound effects. How the fuck do they do that?
Oh, there's some mad lads out there on Upwork. Get some. They all want to work in Marvel films. That's the thing. Yeah. They're always trying to get into that level of like special effects. So like the edits are like child's play to them. They're trying to do like, the Hulk. That they're all trying to get to Hollywood doing like real special effects. This kind of football edits is just like their downtime.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There's some absolute sickers out there, like just, wasted on football Twitter.
You get like these edits. 10,000 views, a few likes, and are instantly forgotten about. It probably took them a month to make.
Yeah. Who knows how long it took them to make it? I think it's easy for them. They make it look easy.
You think they're churning them out?
I think so. I think that's just like, it's just like a side project. What I'm really working on is this like, multi-billion-dollar movie I'm trying to make in Bollywood or whatever. We had another hero of the Euros, Alvaro Morata, adds another insane club to his CV, AC Milan on a 4-year deal.
Is this the first time in history? Maybe not in history, but First time since Chelsea, maybe, where he's been transferred to a big club. And I'd say the majority of people like you and me saw it and went, that's a good sign. And actually, this time that actually does make sense. He's good. I just saw it.
Well, he'll have, I think, still Rafael. I don't think he's gone anywhere. Which for them, they're kind of like, he's kind of like Nicky Williams. He holds the ball up well. He can bring other players into play. So it's a good kind of a piece for them, if you will. I don't think AC Milan are thinking this guy's going to score 30 goals this year.
It's surely not at this stage. They're thinking that.
Not anymore. No, whenever those days are gone for Morata. But that's why I like Madrid time as well, because it was like a lot of hold up play. We'll get our wingers and attacking players to play off him. And I think he did all right that this year. He started off quite well scoring goals, but he kind of faded towards the end. But I think he's done pretty well in Italy for Juve and teams like that. So good luck to him.
Yeah,
fair play to him.
He's turned it around. He's won us over.
Another player of the Euros star, Calafiori from Italy, Will.
Yes, the new Maldini, they call him.
Yeah, he certainly has to hear first.
Yeah, I think that's the majority of it. Some of you might know him, anyone who's terminally on Twitter like we are, you might remember him from coming into the Euros. There was a big tweet about him where someone put up the picture of him, standing looking sternly and said, this guy's aura is off the charts. And someone quoted it, and this one did very well. It was like, you haven't even seen him play. I think aura is just code word for attractive now.
Yeah, 100%. He's not bad like a man, but I mean, he got the Italian hairband long hair combination, which usually means a good player.
Yep.
There's exceptions. Aquilani, I remember one who was kind of like, where do we play Aquilani? Remember all that?
Yeah.
This guy is obviously centre back. Arteta can finally get rid of Gabriel, his secret enemy at Arsenal. Remember last year just dropped him for no reason?
Yeah. Literally, they're like the best defense in the league, but Arteta just doesn't see it.
Doesn't rate him. He's going to let you down. He's linked to Arsenal, but people are saying it's strange to see like a proper Italian playing for Arsenal.
Yeah, I can't remember the last one. Jorginho, I suppose, but
well, that's a good thing to say, Will, because I have a little game for you here. Can you name all the Italians? Not many. All the Italians who've played for Arsenal.
Jesus, definitely not. How many is there?
I think there's 5.
Oh, no way.
You've got one of them already. Now, obviously, Jorginho, some players or some people, not just Argentinians, are saying he's not really Italian because, his parents aren't really from there. He's more Brazilian, So, no, genuinely, I saw that during this whole race storm. People like, well, Jorginho plays for Arsenal. I was like, yeah, he's Brazilian. I was like, that's, come on.
He took a penalty for Italy in the Euros finals.
You can't just decide, nah, he's not really Italian. I was like, you're not Italian. No, you can't be saying, yeah, where's his parents from? Where's he really from?
Honestly, I can't think of a single other Italian player at Arsenal. I'm racking my brain here. The only players I can think of from Italy are like the Italy team that I just saw last week, and none of them play for Arsenal. Yeah,
I won't lie to you, Will. 2 of these players I hadn't heard of myself. Okay. But 2 of them are goalkeepers.
Okay.
That ring any bells? And they help you at all? Are you familiar with the Arsenal's third choice goalkeeper from 2005, 2013?
I don't think I am.
Vito Manone.
Of course.
Vito! He moved to Sunderland in 2013. Another goalkeeper, Emiliano Viviano, which is a great name. I wish he got more minutes on the pitch. He was a goalkeeper at Arsenal from 2013 to 2014. Looks like a year, just under a year. And then finally, Arturo Lipoli. He was there from 2004 to 2006. He was a centre forward. I guess he didn't get much time to pitch when Henry was there.
Yeah, that's tough.
He played 9 matches.
Maybe he'll drop a stinker next week.
Come on, Arto. It will be a strange one to see a proper Italian in the mold of a Maldini or a Totti or Del Piero. A lot of the time they don't really come to the Premier League. Well, back then I guess when the Italian League was strong, why would they?
Yeah.
But where do you think the most Italians ended up in the Premier League? What's an Italian feeding club?
Chelsea, maybe. I feel like.
Yeah, Chelsea probably. I mean, I don't have many either, do they? I don't think.
Darmian for a while. Yeah, I don't really think so. Was Makeda Italian? I don't know.
It could have been. Yeah, there's always that story where Ferguson was like, I tried to get Del Piero to come to Man United, but he's now a one-man club, like schools and gigs, people who I actually think are better than me. You know, he's like, these fake Facebook quotes. And by the way, Ferguson, you were completely right about David Beckham. He did the right move there. And you didn't get rid of Sam early either. That was a good move. Rio was ready. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be a stranger, but maybe a good move for Arsenal. It's not done yet now. It's not done yet. It's just on the cards. It's still lots of potential for it to fall away, to fall apart at the last minute.
It's interesting because it does feel like at the moment, like Man United and their new ownership seems to be like players in out every day. There's 4 new rumors, there's 2 confirms, and there's another guy on the way out every day. But it feels like they're the only club in the Premier League who's doing that. Aston Villa have signed people as well. But like I haven't heard anything from Liverpool or Spurs or I think it's mostly Man United dealings going on.
Yeah, well they definitely like to publicise it for sure.
Yeah.
We've been there before where they don't always all come through. Just kind of sets them up for disaster because then when they lose the first 2 games, like, well, he didn't get his targets. You know, that's the club's fault. You know, like why tell people that they're a target if you haven't got them yet? You know, like we're going to try, and if we don't get them, it's because we're incompetent. So let's all cross our fingers here and hope this happens. Like, oh, well, you know what happened? We blew it. It's like,
well, here's the theory because they're after signing Xerxes, who's Dutch. They're trying to get De Ligt, who's Dutch. They've got in Van Nistelrooy as assistant coach and another Dutch coach for Ten Hag. Do you think they're doing this so that no one can say we didn't back the manager? It's all Dutch lads. He wanted them. And then if it goes wrong, you're all out of here. I knew it. I knew it was never going to work.
Yeah, it does seem like he doesn't have much connections in football outside of Netherlands. Joe Roy Keane was manager of Sunderland, and he just kept signing like old Man United players and Irish players. It's the only people he knew. Had many friends in football over the years, Roy Keane. It feels the same way with Eric Ten Hag, that like it's a lot of Dutch players or former Ajax players is kind of who he knows. So maybe it's he's not comfortable with anybody else, or maybe it's like you said, they're just like, well, whatever he wants, we'll say yes to straight away, you know?
Yeah, because it just seems mad that there's no way it's a coincidence that they're like all these players are Dutch that are getting in, you know? But it does feel like I thought the whole thing going into this summer was like, all right, no more manager control of the club, you know? We've got this structure in place. All right, which Dutch players can we sign for him?
Yeah, well, like, you know, if you're Ten Hag, you might say, you know who'd be savage? Nico Williams. But he's looking like, well, I can go to Barcelona, which, you know, not in the best spot at the moment, but like it's still Barcelona and they'll never be too far away from in Spain. Whereas like you look at Man United and you see the way it's kind of gone up and down and different managers and lots of good players there, and they haven't won the league in 11 years now. It's like, is that as good a bet as like, you know, Barcelona or Real Madrid or something like that? So it's like you can't get the very top players, you can't attract them. But if you're have a personal relationship beforehand, or you're like have a connection through Ajax or whoever, or you can speak the same language as them, that can get over the line a bit more, you know. That was what Wenger used to always apparently do. He used to convince the players like always like, hey, I know I haven't won the league in a while, but trust me. And, you know, he could speak French, he could speak German. It's like, wow, this guy is so intelligent, you know. Yeah, he can convince them.
He's like Lukaku.
That's what they used to say about him, you know. He's like a white Lukaku. But, you know, it's like, I think that's your X factor, where it's like, if you're like, hey, come to Barcelona because, well, I already said it's because it's Barcelona, you know. Or,
yeah. You've heard of us.
Yeah, you know the Champions League. Yeah, we're Real Madrid. Do I need to go on, or do you need more? Because
it's funny because that was literally, it seemed like Madrid's tactic for the Leny Yoro transfer. It's like, come on, we'll take you in the summer for free if you want, or if you want to come now for nothing. Well, it's like, it's up to you. Which would you rather?
Yeah. And it works a lot of the time. That's the thing. So if you're not that level of, like even Man City, you know, you can say, well, we're going to win the league probably. It's like, that sounds pretty sweet, you know?
That would be a fun day, yeah.
I know Bayern Munich have won last year, but still, it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, you'll probably end up in either the quarterfinal of the Champions League and pouring a big stein of beer over your teammates. Yeah. So, you know... Or you can go to...
That's what it's all about. When you really boil it down, it is very funny how much like of transfers and like people's careers are like set on the path of I just have to get an open bus parade at some point. Like, how do I get to it?
Well, it all leads to everything else. Like, you won't get the endorsement deals if you're not winning the thing that people watch, you know? So if you're thinking, if I was on the Champions League winning team, you know, and if you're from Colombia or whatever, you're from Ireland or something like that, it's like, we don't have loads of them. I could be like, like, if there was an Irish person, who's the last Irish person to win the Champions League?
Oh, good question.
Was it Steve Finnan?
Someone like that, yeah. I would say it was probably someone in that Liverpool team.
Do you know? And then no one on the Chelsea teams or the City teams. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if there was an Irish person who won it now, you could dine out on that for the next 10 years because that'd be the next time someone has won it. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if you're coming from, like, obviously there's French and there's Spanish, there's other people who also go to City, but just like, you know, it does put you on a level of like, I'm a Champions League winner, I'm a league winner, I'm someone who wins all the time. Like, you'll have people line up to say, can you endorse our thing? Can you know, be a sponsor of this? Like, it sets you up for life, winning things. We're something that, like, playing consistently in the Premier League and getting paid is like, you know, you can do it anywhere. You know, so
yeah, exactly.
I think the open up parade is great, but it's more it sets you up for the rest of your career. You know,
I looked it up there. John O'Shea, I think.
John O'Shea. Oh, 2008.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, John O'Shea nearly became Ireland manager.
Yeah, exactly.
For that exact reason, that he was a really good player for Man United. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I'd like that job isn't gone yet. You know, not in his lifetime.
I think he's assistant. Did you see that?
Well, this is it. So, like, yeah, you go to the team that wins stuff because you'll be winning stuff for the rest of your life afterwards.
If you play your cards right, you could be getting paid 200 grand a week for nothing after being at Chelsea.
So, like, I think there's probably an element of that where it's like, go to the big club and that'll now you've solidified yourself as a winner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Rather than somebody who was a good player, but never really fulfilled his potential. They're like, oh, that's not true, you know.
Don't want him near my club.
So yeah, there's a few more kind of transfer telltale, but that's about the extent of the news this week. Not a lot going on.
No, anyone who's new to the pod from the Euros, this is what the summer's like. I'm sorry to tell you.
I mean, you should thank your lucky stars as a race war, you know, because
yeah, imagine that first 20 minutes if that wasn't there. It's been a very bad episode.
Yeah, you would have just got a post that we're on holiday. That's all you would have got. Back when something happens. So yeah, look, I mean, if anything else happens, we'll let you know. But this is kind of probably going to be it now until what, end of August the Premier League starts.
I think middle of August is where things ramp up a bit.
Yeah. Even the deadline day doesn't really happen anymore. 16th of August is the first game, Man United versus Fulham.
16th of August, yeah. So just under a month away. Yeah, the deadline day, like we said this all last summer, Fabrizio Romano has killed the transfer game.
It's over.
He's killed it dead. Because at the second there's a sniff of a transfer rumor, he lets you know. And then 2 months go by the time the deal is done. And it's like, yeah, I know. Obviously he was for them. I thought he was already there.
Yeah, it's already been confirmed, then deleted by Fabrizio Romano when it doesn't happen. So it's like, I feel like this deja vu. I feel it's already happened. It's like it did in another journalist's mind already happened. So yeah, I mean, look, and also we said big clubs, you know, they don't usually leave it to the end of not big clubs, but well-run clubs don't usually leave it to the end of the last second. Go, oh shit, we haven't signed any players. We better sign them all now. Make it interesting for people.
This is I think the clearest sign yet that there's change in Man United. These transfers are happening in July, not the last week in August. It counts for something.
Yeah, and even with the most blockbuster transfers, it'll be interesting when they start playing. You know, so
this is also the thing as well, because now it's so many like young wonder kids and stars from other leagues. Like all that, the players are so good across the board. Now, when the transfers happen, I've never seen them play. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're like.
No. Did they play in the Champions League last year? No? Oh. I didn't watch that either, but you know, I could have at least pretended. Yeah, so look, we'll be keeping you up with anything that's really shocking. Maybe some documentaries.
Yeah, we gotta find something.
Nothing like a documentary on a hot summer's day. You know, stay inside, close the curtains, and watch a breakdown. I saw a documentary on Netflix on Sprint. I was like, is that good? I mean, is that just like...
Orna was watching it and she cried at the last episode. Do you want to know why?
Go on,
Have a
spoil it
guess.
for me. Oh, they won the race.
Ding, ding, ding. All the runners won the races. It's like I could have told you.
It just seems like what we call this about the sprinters. What about we drop the ers, we just put sprint. Sprinters, sprints, like, and then it's like people sprinting. And I'm going to guess, Will, it's about how hard they work and the sacrifices they make.
But there is a great character in it. I can't remember his name, but he's the bad boy of sprinting. And it's like, oh yeah, he's my favorite.
Is he the guy who's like world champions of what? That guy?
Yeah. I will say it's pretty. Like, look, it is actually good. Now that I think of it, now that I think back, I was like,
I'm sure it's well made. But I just like, I feel I've seen some of these documentaries. Like, yeah, I know they work hard. I know they're professional athletes. That doesn't like.
I think what makes sprint good is they're quite catty towards each other.
I know.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Because the sport is so boring that they have to come up with their own drama.
Because there's so few of them. There's only like 15 people doing it at that level. So they all know each other and they're all trying to beat each other all the time. So they hate each other.
Yeah. Well, tune in next week for my full review of Sprint. And what footballers I think match up with the sprinters. If they were footballers, who would they be?
That'd be good.
Now, we'll cover a few more things over the next few weeks before all kicks off. So, yeah, look, thanks for listening. And thanks for supporting the show, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week.
Good luck.